See how it says this only has 3 steps for completing the square? It actually has 4. And this first part that they talked about, make sure it's in this form, is step 1. So put S1 beside it, mark this out, put S2, S3, S4. There's actually 4 steps for completing the square. Alright, see how the first part it says make sure it's in the form x squared plus bx? What term are we missing here? C, right? Our constant. Isn't that the number without any letters or anything? There's a reason it's missing. It's because it needs to be on the other side of the equal sign. So not like standard form like it usually has been. Have your A and B on one side, your C on the other. So this one, step 1, we'll need to move the what? By doing what? Yes. So let's write x squared plus 10x. Now, I want you to write a plus box beside it, plus a square. And then again, on this side, the 11 will become positive, right? Why do you think I added a box to both sides? Because what you do to one side, don't you have to do to the other to make it equal? Yes. Okay, so now that was step 1. Step 2, we're going to find half of b. What is our b term in this one? How do you know it was 10? Say it louder. I know somebody said it. How did you know that 10 was your b term? Yes, it's right beside x. Good. So we're going to find b over 2, which would be 10 over 2, which is what? 5. And then step 3 says what? Somebody read step 3 for me. Yes, so we're going to square this, which will make what? Yes. This is what we will add to both sides in the box. 25 and 25. That's why it's called completing the square. Actually, this is not why, not the squares, but you'll find out. Alright, now we're going to factor this side. And this side we will use what to factor? What method? AC, easy. We just have to find factors of what? 25 that add to get. That's going to be. So couldn't I write, instead of x plus 5 and x plus 5, I could write x plus 5 squared. Let's do that. So x plus 5 squared on this side. Again, I just factored this. I'm going to bring it down here. And then what's this side going to be when I add these together? Yes. Alright, so the reason it's called completing the square is because see how you have a perfect square on each side? This is a perfect square because it's x plus 5 times x plus 5. This is a perfect square because 36 square root of it is. That's why we wanted to do that. Now to solve it, what is the opposite of squaring something? It's taking the square root. But I can't just take the square root of this side. I got to take the square root of both sides. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Does anybody know what we're going to get when we take the square root of this? Just x plus 5, because these two are opposites, the square root and squaring something, so they just cancel each other out. So we'll just have x plus 5 equals or yes, plus or minus. So there's going to be 2 cases, the 6 and the negative 6. And now just solve for x in each one. So this one we'll subtract 5, right, and get x equals. And this one we will. Perfect. That's it. Factoring? Yeah, I do too. The reason we have to do this, because I asked our math instructional person, my boss, I was like, why do we have to do it this way if we can just do it factoring? We have to do it this way because you'll see next chapter when we do transformations of quadratics, you have to use completing the square to put it in transformation form. So we have to learn this. Going back to this part, what do you notice about this number right here compared to what we did in steps 2 and 3? Aren't these the same number? So basically what goes in here when we're grouping them together is whatever our b term is divided by 2 will always go right here. So we don't have to worry about doing a times c. And you'll see why that's important in this next one, okay? So in this next one, we'll start by doing what? Yes. So write x squared minus 13x plus square. Make the square a little bigger. equals, on this side it'll be what? Plus square. Good. And then what goes in the square? First we have to take what and divide it by 2? Yes, negative 13 divided by 2. Tell me what that's going to be. You can tell me as a decimal. Negative 6.5, right? And what is negative 6.5 squared? Good. So which one are we going to add to both sides? Good, the 42.25. Do you see now why we don't want to do A times C here? Do you want to find factors of this number? No, there's like a million of them if you're doing the decimals, okay? So that's why when we group it, we know it's going to be x minus what? 6.5. It always comes from here, okay, before you square it. So let's go ahead and do that. This side again will be x minus 6.5 squared. And again, the negative 6.5 came from here. What are we going to have on this side? Correct. Alright, what do we do from here? Square root both sides. So on this side we'll have equals, what's the square root of 6.25? So it's either 2.5 or what? Yes. And now solve for x on each one by yourself. Alright, what'd you get for your answers? -4? Yes, very good. So even though it was really ugly decimals, you still got pretty answers, 9 and 4. How would I check if these were correct if I wanted to check my work? Plug them into the original. Should give you what if it's correct? 0. Good. Alright, so again, this method we just did is called what? Completing the square. So now we've done 3 ways of solving quadratics. Okay. If I look at 3, 4, 5, and 6, which one's different? Or which 2 are different? Because they have a what out front? A number. A number. Oh my gosh. Am I saying that? A number. I don't know. I just had a weird moment. A number greater than 1, right? So you know how we do AC easy and AC hard? How AC easy, there's not a number in front and it's super easy. And then AC hard, if there's a number in front, things are a little more difficult, right? Same thing with completing the square. So we're not going to touch on these today. That's what we're going to work on tomorrow. I want you to try 3 and 6 on your own. 3 and 6 on your own, then we'll go over them. And just so y'all know, on number 3 you'll get nice pretty answers. On number 6 you'll get imaginary answers. Let me know if you need help with one of these.
And I just put x dot self value before the value before. So on ones like this, when you can't really do an answer, you can leave it as x equals what's my real term, and then just bring this back beside it. That's it.
Good job. Oh wait, paper did I grab? Yes, I just sent it separately. This one. That one's good. Alright, go ahead and compare your answers. So talk about it with people around you. Y'all can talk with y'all are close. Alright, check it out. Do I need to go over this number 3 right here? So these are the answers. Everybody's good with this one? Alright, do I need to go over this one? Yes, okay. So, Hope, start me out. The first thing I need to do is what? Good. So it would be x squared plus 8x plus box equals what? Okay. Alex, what do I do from here? Good. And that's going to give me what? Squared? So what do I add in each side? 16. Yes, you said x plus 4 squared? That's correct. Equals what? Yes. Did everybody get to that part? Okay, so sometimes you won't always have pretty answers. On this one we have to take square root of both sides, right? That's how we get x plus 4. And then square root of 6. There's no perfect squares that go in it, right? But I can take out the what? Negative, right? Square root of that negative 1 is going to be what? I square root of 6. Now just get the 4 by itself by doing, or the 4 by itself, the x by itself by doing what? And so we can't combine these because they're real and imaginary, but we know we need to write what number first? The real number first, right? So just leave it as negative 4 plus or minus I square root of 6. How many answers are right here? 2. Because it's negative 4 plus this and negative 4 minus this. You don't have to write them both out separately. Okay? Questions about those two? Everybody feels good about those? Alright, flip it over. I want you to do 7, 9, and 11, but don't go forward until I check each one is correct. So after you do 7, raise your hand, I'll check it. If it's correct, you can move on. Same thing with 8, same thing with 9.
move them? Almost. This is good, but they should be set. The plus or minus is just because you took the diagonals at the back from what the square root is. Or what? You know, go ahead. You can't combine them because they're not plus or minus. This thing will just accidentally change to 5. It should be 25. Perfect. Here should be your B term divided by 2, which is what? Yes, she's done. Now be base. Perfect. Great job. This one's good. This one needs to work because square root is plus or minus 4 almost. No, that's good. The square should be what right here? Whatever it should be. Yeah. Let me get the x back. So right here, if I do this number. I keep thinking that's 41 because it's out of 30 years. Get it. Great job. Great job. Good. Good. Perfect. Good job. Good job. You're right. Can you just plug it? Good job. That's right. You can leave it as 3.75. You just need to take that out. Yeah. That's good. Perfect. Good job.
Alright, I'll give you a few more minutes, then we're going to move on to the harder ones.
Good job. You can write that as a mix if you want to, or separately, but that's it. Great job. Bless you.
Y'all still like factoring better than this one?
Yes. Not even close.
Good. Good job.
How the heck did you
Perfect. Yeah, you can leave that as 1.5. That's fine. That's what she said.
Or you can leave the same 3 or 2. Either one's good.
Perfect. Good job. Bless you. Good job.
Alright, I'm going to write the answers up here. So if you're not done, you can write them down at least.
Nurse Laurie, please go to room 139. Nurse Laurie, you're needed in room 139. Thank you.
And then if there's one I need to go over, I will. This last one was kind of funky. Alright, here is the answer for the first one. Do I need to go over that one? Alright, here's the answer for the second one. 3 plus or minus 4i. Do I need to go over that one?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So Bryant, help me out. First thing I need to do is what?
Negative 6 divided by 2. Or no, move the 25.
Yes, and if I move the 25, it's going to be what? On the other side?
Negative 25.
Yes. Alright, Simon, what do I do next?
Negative. I mean, that's b over 2.
Which is negative 6 over 2, which is negative 3 squared. So what do I put in each box? 9. Good. Alright, what will this first one factor into? That x minus 3 squared. Where did the minus 3 come from? Right here. Half of your b. On this side you'll get negative 16. Square root of this side will be square root of negative 16 or negative 4i, right? And then all I did was add the 3 over. That's why it's positive over there. Everybody good with that? Alright, here's your answer for the last one. Sorry, it's down here. Do I need to go over that? Everybody's good? Did anybody have it as fractions? Yes. If it says fractions, it would be x equals negative 3 over 2 plus or minus. Actually, it would be square root of I square root of 15 over 2. Alright. Now let's look at the harder ones. Okay. Flip over to the front. We'll just look at a few. Starting on number 4. So if it has a number out front, what is our A? 2. The first thing we have to do is, well, first we'll move this term. So move over the 5 first. That'll make what? On the other side? Negative 5, right? Notice I didn't draw my boxes. Don't draw your boxes. Now we're going to have to divide everything by that first number to make A equal 1. So we're going to have to divide everything by what? 2 to start it off. Do y'all want to leave them as fractions or do decimals? Okay, so we got x squared minus what? 3.5. Now you can put plus box. Equals what? Negative 2.5 plus box. Alright, I'm going to give you time to find out what b over 2 is, what b over 2 squared is. So take a minute to do that. No, can't round on these. So if you do it in a decimal, the only bad part is you can't round because we need the exact answer. Everybody done with that part? Alright, tell me what's going to go in the box then. Good. And if you'll believe it, actually the fractions are easier on this one because they're really pretty fractions. Let me show you. Actually, I'll show you when we're done because I don't want to show you the answer, okay? Alright, so this will be x minus what? Where'd you get 1.75? Good. Alright, what are we going to get when we do negative 2.5 plus 3.0625? I'll give you time. What we get? 0.5625. Alright, now we're going to do what? Square root both sides, right? So we'll get x minus 1.75 equals, what's the square root of this? 0.75. And it'll be plus or minus, right? So I'll have 2 cases. Now go ahead and solve it on your own. What'd y'all get for the first one? 2.5 or negative 2.5? Okay. And then what'd you get for the last one? Very good. Alright, let me show you what fractions look like on this kind of problem, okay? They're really pretty fractions, if you can believe that. So 7 over 2 would be 7 over 4 squared is 9 over 16. Why is 49 over 16 a pretty fraction? They're both perfect squares. Good. And this 5 over 2, when we moved over, I changed it to negative 40 over 16 to have a common denominator. Then you get 9 over 16. So when you take the square root, you get 3 over 4. It's really pretty. You don't have to do it, but I'm just showing you. Oops. Okay. Questions on that one? Do you think you could do 5 on your own? All right, try it. You'll have real numbers for your answers. One's going to be a whole number, one's going to be a fraction.
How do you write?
How do you write what?
If it's a repeating fraction.
Like on which one? This one? When you divide 10 divided by 3?
Mm-hmm.
Then just leave it as 3.333. So you can round on the repeating one just like 3.333. That'd be fine. Oh, you're doing okay. Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe just change that to not to 41.
Have y'all reached some answers yet, or still working? Okay, what did I get for one of them?
0.6667.
Alright, what'd you get for another one?
3.993.
Okay. I'll need to go over this one then. You make anything different? -4? No. Plunkett, go ahead and finish yours up. Tell me what you get. Karen, did you finish yours? Did y'all get the same thing they said?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody did decimals, right? Except for 2 people. I was going to see if they had different. What'd you get?
Okay, this is.
Maybe I did it wrong. Let's go over it together. Alright. On this one, y'all divided by what first? 3. So when we do that, we'll have x squared plus 10 over 3 x equals 8 over 3, or let me put, how could I write how could I write this as a denominator of 3? Does anybody know? What's 8 times 3? So I could write it as 24 over 3, right? Isn't that the same as 8? Okay, and now I divide what by 2? 10 over 3? Okay, here's how I want you to do it on your calculator, because decimals you'll have to round and they'll get messy, right? Just do this. Go to your regular calculator. Let me get off this. Do 10 divided by 3, and then you'll have to divide that by 2, right? So hit divided by 2, and y'all know how to change that to a fraction. What do you hit? Math, then what? So what is that as a fraction? Okay, so let me add that to both sides. X squared, oh, I have to square this first, sorry. So square this, 25 over 9, that's what I have to add to both sides. Alright, that means I have to change this bottom from 3 to what? 9. So that means I have to multiply the top by what? Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll get 72. Everybody still with me? Because I want y'all to try the next one as fractions. Okay. Alright, from here, what will this break into? X plus what? Do you remember what 10 over 3 divided by 2 was? 5 over 3. Good. What is 25 plus 72? 97 over 9. What did I do here? 8 plus 25 divided by 9. Make sure this is right. Yep, it's right. Okay, so we got to take the square root of both sides. So we'll get x plus 5 over 3. Now the top we can't take the square root of, right? But the bottom, the square root is going to be what? 3. The top I'll leave as square root of 97 for now. So this will be x equals -5, because I got to move it over, right? -5 plus or minus square root of 97 all over 3. Now let's see what it would be if I actually calculated it. What did I do wrong here, guys? I'm trying to figure it out.
Why would you change it to 24?
Yeah. I left it as 8. It was easier that way.
It is easier that way? So you did 8 plus 25 over 9?
Yeah, and I got 49 over 9.
Oops.
You didn't put it over 3. It's 8 over 3.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just left it as plain old 8. I was trying to figure it out. Thanks, guys. So 8 over 3 plus 10 over 3, that gave us what?
Wait, what? X plus
8 over 3 plus 25 over 9. I'm going to get it together. So did y'all get 5.444 on one side?
Yes.
Okay, that is the same as 49 over 9. That's much better. Sorry, guys. So the square root of 49 is what? Yeah. So we got negative 5 plus or minus 7 over what? 3. Alright. So one answer is 7 minus 5 is what? 2 over 3. What is 7 plus 5? Try it again. 7 plus 5? Or negative 5 plus 7? We just did that one. I'm sorry. Negative 5 minus 7. Over 3. Y'all were right. I was wrong. I made a huge boo-boo. We'll just call it a day after that one. Y'all can pack up. Sorry for the confusion. Do not do these problems. We'll do these tomorrow in class. Woo! Sorry, guys. I was out of it today.